Hello there. Do you like to laugh? Are you fond of the occasional musical number? Do you secretly enjoy fart jokes and sexual innuendos? How about extremely vulgar language? If you answered yes to at least one of these, then boy howdy do we have a treat for you. The weird and deranged minds that bring you Strange Fantasy Show have dipped their toes into the proverbial soup of comedy to bring you a new program under the Strange Fantasy Productions umbrella, The Dastardly Dangerous Adventures of Darby's the Cat. Follow the infamous pirate cat Darby's and his mousy best friend Little Gary on high-flying adventures as they... Hey, what are you doing? This is a closed recording set? No, hey, get off me! What are you doing? Ow!
Else you'll get some more of me knuckle sapper!
Kick him once more in his teeth, then tie him up over yonder.
Why are you doing this?
Oh, hush it. Let me tell the good people about the show. 'Tis only proper. Now I be Darby's, the infamous pirate cat. And this is me best mate, Little Gary.
Hello!
And we've got our own show now. So join us on the adventure of a lifetime and listen in and download anywhere you get your podcasts. Savvy?
If you do not mind, we really need to get to the show already.
Yeah, we're good, mate.
Fantastic. Ghost host, take it away.
Thank you. Cue the intro. Welcome to another regaling of strange fantasy. Obscure odysseys meant to shock the nervous system and stir the very core of your soul. Tonight's tale is the chilling conclusion, entitled Inside Man, Part 2.
Looks like we're getting a distress call. Can you transfer it to my console? Huh. It's coming from back the way we came. Celestian ID. Looks like the fighter that almost took us out went down with us. See what you can do to boost the signal. Make sure we find someone to help him out. Ah, Lieutenant Tyson. Good news, I hope?
Respectfully, sir, I do not know where the hell they could be. We have searched every deck, every room. There's just no sign of Gibbs, Parks, or Chen anywhere.
Well then, respectfully, Lieutenant Tyson, we need to look everywhere again. Because they couldn't have just disappeared into thin air.
Sir, I have got a security detail of 3. Searching a ship this size? Well, hell, we're coming on 18 hours straight.
Pull more men if you need to. But I want those crewmen found. The doctor thinks there's a risk of infection.
Same one that smashed up the infirmary?
What was that, Tyson?
Well, with respect, sir, you're taking the word of a man that went nuts and killed a dozen of his own crewmen.
I have known Dr. Tolman for many years, and he is not the kind of man that just snaps and kills his fellow crew. If he says there's an infection, then I'm going to believe him. Besides, do you have an explanation for the missing crew?
No, sir, I do not.
Then find them. And see if you can track down Private Burroughs. She was supposed to be at our station 20 minutes ago.
Yes, sir.
It's about time.
Sorry we took so long. The chief engineer is trying to recover Will's scan data.
Never mind that. Something happened with Will a couple hours ago. We were talking and then he just shut down. Then it sounded like he was just throwing himself into the barrier.
You wait here, Fusion. William? Are you all right? Miss Carroll is going to try and recover your scans for you. Where did he go?
What do you mean, where did he go? He didn't go anywhere.
Are you sure?
It's not like I left to go use the toilet.
Well, he's not here unless... Oh my.
What?
What is it?
Fusion, turn off his cell's force barrier, would you? Oh my goodness. Call Jupiter.
What? Is he hurt?
Call Jupiter and Miss Rayburn immediately.
What?
Immediately!
Captain Valeri and Carol Rayburn to the brig immediately.
Will you just tell me what's wrong with the dock?
You're sure nobody came in or out of here?
Not since you left, no?
They're on their way. What the? It's more of that sludge from the infirmary. But where's William? And why is that stuff all over his clothes?
I think we're looking at him. I think this sludge is all that's left of poor William.
This better be important, Miss Nix. I'm severely understaffed and... Where is Dr. Tolman?
That's why we called for you.
Is that more of the biomatter?
We think that biomatter is Dr. Tolman.
Oh, I think I'm gonna be sick.
I know how you feel.
That's... William Tolman.
I don't see any other explanation. The cell was locked, and Mina swears nobody came or went.
Can you explain this? Is this something to do with your porphyria cure?
Oh, right. I just carry around containers of bioagents with me everywhere I go. Is that it?
Well, I need some kind of explanation for this, and you're the bioterrorist.
Bioterrorist, please.
I hate to interrupt such lovely discourse, but is this really getting us anywhere?
What kind of infection can do that to a person?
Can I see? I'm a biologist, remember. Look, if you have anyone else around that's qualified...
Open the cell.
Thank you. So, as it stands, we were just talking and his speech suddenly became slurred, and then he sounded like he was just ramming headlong into the wall. Then it just stopped.
Well?
Liquefaction. It's weird. I don't recognize it, but there's something familiar. I'd like to analyze this.
Forget it. I'm not giving you carte blanche to just make yourself at home, and I don't have the manpower to guard you.
Bennett ran a scan of the... well, I guess the remains we found in the infirmary. I can try and see if he's gotten the results back yet.
Do it.
Look, if it's an infection, then I want to help. I'm at risk, the same as everyone else on board.
You don't really have anyone else with the expertise, Val.
I'll consider it. Captain Valeri to Tyson.
Tyson here.
Any sign of those missing crew members?
No, sir. And 6 other crew members failed to report to their duty stations and are now missing.
Look for traces of biochemical residue, like the substance found in the infirmary.
Sir?
We are proceeding under the assumption that our missing crew might have been liquefied. This is Acting Captain Jupiter Valeri with an announcement to all crew. I know we have already been through more than any of us bargained for on this excursion. I address you again, now, because of new information that threatens the lives of everyone on board. We have reason to believe that we may have picked up an infectious agent. We are currently 3 days away from Cold Station 19. As a protection against spreading this potentially contagious infection, the following orders will be in effect until we reach our destination, where additional quarantine procedures will go into effect. All crew are to remain at their duty stations. Food, bedding, and other material necessities will be brought to you by myself and members of security who will be outfitted in biohazard prevention equipment. If you are feeling ill or notice strange behaviors in those around you, notify myself and Lieutenant Tyson immediately. I know I'm asking a lot from you, but we can and will get through this if we work together. Valeri out. Most captains don't have to make a speech like that in their entire careers. I've been captain for just over a day and I've had to make 2. What does that say about me?
If it's of any consolation, Captain, I think you're making the right call.
Am I? I feel like I'm just trying to stick my head in the sand until we reach someone that I can shift the burden to. Start distributing supplies. See if Rayburn and Burnett have gotten any results.
Yes, sir.
And Tyson, be careful.
She sells seashells. She sells seashells by the seashore. She sells seashells by the seashore. Peter Piper picked a peck of
You keep
pickled
that
peppers.
thermometer in your mouth any longer, you might as well have it implanted.
Very funny.
You're not dying.
I'm sure that's what Dr. Tolman thought too.
Oh. So it's back to Dr. Tolman. It's been 24 hours since the captain initiated quarantine. If you were going to get sick, you'd have gotten sick.
Not necessarily. Every time that door opens, we get exposed to whatever is out there. You should talk to the captain. Recommend that she give everyone enough supplies to last until we get to Cold Station 19. That way, they don't have to keep delivering and exposing us.
And what if something does happen to one of us? Or both of us? They don't just come by to deliver supplies, they come by to check on us as well. Come here. Do you know why I selected you out of all the candidates to be my aide?
You selected me?
I did.
I always assumed I was just lucky, and it was a random assignment.
Oh, come now. Since when is anything I do random? I selected you because I saw a balance to myself in you. I made a decision a long time ago to just stop worrying about things I can't control. You, however, worry. All the time. You worry about me being late, wearing inappropriate attire, making culturally problematic remarks. I need you to keep me grounded. You keep me on the level.
I respect the work that you do, Ambassador, but you are also one of the most frustrating men I have ever met. I try to watch you, to emulate you, but just when I think I've figured out your playbook, your methodology, you do something totally unexpected.
Of course I do. You think I know what it is I'm doing? Oh. I'll tell you a secret. I fell into being an ambassador quite by accident. My late wife and I moved to the Magellan colony for her job while I was looking for work. I applied everywhere that I could think of, but nobody was hiring. Then, my wife was killed in a shuttle crash. At the funeral, I commiserated with a nice gentleman who had also lost his wife on the same shuttle. He did me the kindness of submitting me for an ambassadorship so I could return home. Long story short, what was supposed to be a direct trip home turned into a circuitous adventure when the Remosian conflict erupted. I was assigned mission after mission after mission, and I had no idea what I was doing. And I met some truly awful people. And I met some people that wanted me to think they were awful. And I met a lot of people that weren't awful at all. And you know what every one of them had in common? They were all worried, all the time. And the only thing that I ever decided was my, we'll call it a philosophy, if you like, was that I needed to try and bring less worry into every situation that I encounter. But that means I need someone like you to keep me on my toes, Fusion. I picked you because your application was the most fastidious, anal, stress-filled application I had ever seen. I could just see you embodied on that page as this young woman who'd tied herself into knots. And that's why you're the only one I allowed to call me Ambassador. I figured if I insisted on you calling me Larrabee, your head might explode.
I always assumed it was because you didn't like me.
Oh, far from it. It's because I respect how difficult it is to handle someone like me.
Thank you, Ambassador.
That must be our dinner.
Here are your meals. Everything all right in here? Anything either of you need?
No, we're fine, thank you.
Sounds good. We'll see you again at 800 hours.
Before you go, Hugh, have the analytics come back on the remains? I know Mina wanted to get a look at them when they did.
Sorry, no. Rayburn said there was a problem with the equipment. I'll let them know you were asking about it, though.
I wouldn't be able to go and see them, would I? It's been 24 hours, and neither of us is showing any symptoms.
Sorry, Larrabee, but the fact that nobody else has gone missing or dissolved means quarantine measures are working. Too risky to break protocol now when we've got this thing under control.
What about Mina Lysett? She's behind the energy barrier. There's no risk of infection there.
Sorry, Larrabee. It's not safe. I gotta go. We've got other deliveries.
You know how you always insist that I take too many risks?
Very well.
Well, then you're going to hate me for this.
Where are you going?
To the infirmary. You heard Carol and that young engineer. They should have been able to tell us something by now. Think about it. Do you think it's a coincidence that all the medical staff were among the first infected?
They probably had the most exposure.
And what about William destroying the infirmary,
You think the virus is protecting itself?
Why not?
It'd have to be a pretty smart virus.
Or it had help. Come on. We'll stop by the mess and I'll get you some brandied almonds.
I don't like brandied almonds.
Well then, grab our dinners and we'll have them to go. Come on.
Always plenty to worry about.
All right, Fusion. You stay out here and keep watch. Let me know the moment you hear anything.
Everyone's in quarantine, remember?
Shh. Do you hear that? If everyone's in quarantine, then who's in the infirmary? I think they're coming. Hide.
Captain Valeri.
Now I wonder what she's been up to. Let's have a look.
What if someone else is inside?
All clear. Keep watch. Someone's been doing some spring cleaning. I was right, Fusion. This biobed is working perfectly.
What are you doing?
Hoping there's enough of poor Dr. Chen left on the floor here to analyze. There. It'll just be a few moments.
Someone's coming.
Everyone's supposed to be in quarantine. Why can't people just do what they're told?
How long do you need to complete the scan?
2 minutes.
I'll take care of it.
Fusion, what are you doing? Don't leave!
Oh, it's Miss Nix, isn't it? You scared the life out of me. Aren't you supposed to be in your quarters?
I could say the same about you.
I'm going to have to notify the captain about this.
Please don't. She's already upset with the ambassador, and I don't want to get him in more trouble.
You still haven't told me what you're doing here.
Well, all this infection disease stuff has brought out the hypochondriac in me. I'm afraid I insisted to the ambassador that we both come and run a complete scan on ourselves. The ambassador tried to talk me out of it, but I was making such a nuisance of myself, I'm afraid. I wore him down.
All right, I won't tell the captain, but you both need to head straight back to your quarters when you're done.
He's just finishing up now. Speaking of, though, aren't you supposed to be in your quarters too?
Still got to keep the ship running, don't we? Crew are supposed to stay at their duty stations. My duty station is wherever there's something broken.
That's right. How is it coming fixing the biobed? Mr. Tyson said you were having some problems?
Oh, no. Miss Rayburn and I finished fixing it this morning. I can't imagine why Rayburn would have told Tyson it was still down.
Oh, I see. Must have been a mix-up. Ah, Ambassador! I was just telling Mr. Burnett here that I insisted we both come and get checkups. You're healthy, I hope?
Like a horse. Come on. We'd better get back to our quarters.
Try not to worry. We'll be at Cold Station 19 in a couple of days, and this'll all be in the past. See you both later.
Did you get it?
A full workup. Now, shall we share the spoils of our misadventures with our friend in the brig?
Ambassador, Burnett said that Rayburn was supposed to tell Tyson they'd repaired the bed this morning.
Was he? Now that's interesting. Ah, Mina, fancy running into you here.
Very funny. I don't suppose you've come to let me out?
Not yet, unfortunately. But I was hoping you could help make us...
What is it?
An analysis of what the dissolved crew members were turned into.
What's in it for me?
Oh, you know, personal satisfaction for a job well done, helping out your fellow man, that sort of thing. And if that's not enough, how about trying to assuage the possibility that you might turn into sludge? Does any of that sound appealing to you?
Give me the data.
That's enough. Hold it right there.
Val, Hugh, we were just...
I can see what you were just. I warned you, Larrabee. But you chose not to listen.
Captain, if you just let us explain.
Okay. Which do you want to explain first? Breaking quarantine or releasing a prisoner?
What?
We have the best of intentions, I assure you.
Really? Like spreading this disease? For all I know, you too are the cause of it.
How could you possibly think?
I don't want to hear it. Tyson, post a guard. I want anything suspicious reported to me immediately.
Sir.
Hugh, if you would just listen to us. What are you doing?
Opening your cell.
But the captain.
I won't tell if you won't.
But why? I don't understand.
If there's one thing I believe, it's that you gotta trust your gut. And my gut tells me there's something still very wrong here.
But why trust us?
You're too conspicuous to be saboteurs, and you're too damn annoying to be terrorists.
Well, thank you very much.
So what have you found out?
Miss Mina, can you make any sense out of this? You said it seemed familiar.
It is, it's just... No, it couldn't be.
What is it?
I need some proper equipment, to be sure.
I could take you to the infirmary. Will that work?
Yeah, they should have what I need.
Hold on. You're still supposed to be under guard, remember?
Oh, very well. I just hope you're not a method actor.
Well,
Give me a minute, you can't rush science.
can we try and rush science just a bit?
That's what got me in trouble in the first place. I think my initial hypothesis was correct.
Which was what exactly?
You know, there are over 1 million types of insects on the planet Earth alone, and as we've explored the galaxy, insect life has been the most predominant life found in the galaxy.
Is this relevant?
Unfortunately, you see, the life cycles of an insect are far more directly intertwined than most higher forms of mammals. For example, there's a wasp that specifically seeks out cockroaches, injects its stinger into its brain and zombifies it before implanting it with its eggs. When the larvae are born, they have a fresh supply of roach meat to nourish them. There's also a spider, although not technically an insect, that injects its prey with venom that liquefies its internal organs, so that its young can drink the prey while they develop.
That's disgusting.
What exactly are you telling us, Mina?
These bodies were broken down by a similar chemical process to that which insects use.
You're saying some great hulking wasp is flying around somewhere on this ship?
Size is immaterial. There are a dozen insects the size of my thumb that carry enough venom to take down a human being. I wonder...
What?
I've just had a very nasty thought. All of this still doesn't explain why Will wrecked the infirmary, right? There's this fungus that infects the brain of an ant, which causes it to climb to the tallest point it can find to die. So when the fungus bursts out, the spores can travel as far as they can. What if this organism operates the same way? If it acts with intelligence, with a desire to protect itself?
So how do we find it?
It'd be a matter of a simple physical examination, or a screening from the biobed.
Too bad they aren't working.
Yes, they are. Burnett told us she had fixed them.
She must have been wrong.
No, really, we tried it out earlier. Here, hop on and try for yourself.
I'll pass.
It'll be safest if we all get scanned. Lieutenant Tyson, why don't you go first?
No, I said I'm good.
Lieutenant Tyson?
Thank you for giving our existence clarity.
Nix! Larrabee!
Oh, are you kidding me?
Our intelligence is limited by our host. On our planet, brutal mammalian life was the highest form of intelligence. When you came, it took time to master these hosts, to learn to use speech and movement.
What do we do, Mina?
Me? Why are you asking me? Try asking him.
So, you are controlling Hugh?
More than that, we retain knowledge from our hosts, and when our larvae are born, they inherit knowledge through the organic matter they consume.
So, it's a race that learns through its host's memory. It's why they liquefy their prey. By doing so and then consuming it, they gain the knowledge and experience of the creature they ate.
What is it you want?
We desire survival.
We can give you that. We can take you back to your planet. We never meant to remove you from there in the first place.
We cannot go back. We have evolved. We cannot return to an existence without intelligence.
You haven't evolved. You're mindless parasites by your own admission. You steal your intelligence. It's not yours.
Careful, Mina.
You will accompany me to the nesting site. Once there, you will be prepared to feed the larva. Now stand and come with me.
There's restraints on the bed. Go, get him secure.
There. I think that'll do it.
He's unconscious. Ambassador, you were shot.
I'm all right. It just grazed me.
Better call the captain.
Are you sure?
She needs to know what's going on.
What by the moons of Saturn is going on here?
It's not a virus.
It's not? Then perhaps you'd like to tell me what my security officer is doing restrained.
It's a bug.
I thought you said it wasn't a virus.
No, an actual bug. From what we can tell, it's a parasite that latches onto its host, controlling them. When it's ready to move on, it releases a chemical into the host which calls them to their nesting grounds where it liquefies them to be eaten later. And yes, I know how that sounds, but it's true.
You're telling me Tyson has been taken over by a parasite?
A very powerful one. It forms a symbiotic link with the host and then uses their knowledge.
But that doesn't make any sense. Tyson was the one who suggested the quarantine procedures.
It wanted to hide until it could get to Cold Station 19. There it would have been able to breed and spread at will.
Can we remove it?
We don't know. Its pattern seems to be to dissolve the host when it's ready to move on.
Can we try?
We're scanning him now.
Are you all right?
Got in the way while he was being disarmed. Not too bad. Now that the emergency is over, I do think I'm going to go and have a well-deserved rest, if that's all right with you.
Of course, Larrabee.
We've got it from here.
Do you want me to come with you?
No, stay here. Let me know how things turn out.
Scans are coming in. Looks like there's some sort of tissue damage here along the second vertebrae. Nix, would you get me a pair of those gloves and a face mask, please, just in case?
Yeah. Here you are.
Let's have a look.
Well?
There's a deep wound. My guess is that it's like a tick. It lives outside the body, but burrows in order to connect with the nerve fibers connecting with the brain.
Can you remove it?
That's the problem. Its tracks are there, but it isn't. Best guess it's already released Mr. Tyson and moved on.
What? Into one of us?
Most likely.
So, now what?
Captain, would you join me over here, please?
You expect me to trust you, to put your hands around my neck?
No, I'd like you to check me if you would. You were the last one in the room, so you're probably the safest candidate. Look, I don't know how long it takes for this thing to take control. It may be instantaneous or it may take hours. Either way, I'd like to know.
All clear. Would you?
Yeah. No signs of a hitchhiker. Nix?
Well, I don't really have a choice, do I? You know, cancer runs deep in my family. I get inspected for it annually, but an alien bug that wants to control me and then turn me into mush? That's a level of stress even my mother would appreciate.
You're clear.
That's great.
You know what that means.
What? No. Not the ambassador. There's just no way.
We'd better check him out.
Couldn't it just be on its own? Without a host?
Probably, but we can't chance it. We have to check him out.
What about Tyson?
Can you tell if he's been injected with the venom?
I believe he was.
And there's nothing we can do for him?
I'm afraid not, but I do have a suggestion. According to what the bug said, there's a nest somewhere on the ship. When he's about to... he'll be drawn to the nest, so his body can sustain the larvae. If we follow him, we can find the nest. It seems cold, I know, but it may be the only way.
That's horrible.
But we may not have a choice. We'll divide our efforts. Fushan, come with me to check out the ambassador. Mina, release Tyson and follow him.
It's worth mentioning that if it's anything like what happened to Will, then there may be a period of lucidity before he's compelled to the nest. What should I tell him?
The truth.
Can't you call for more help?
I've got a skeleton crew as it is. Well, we don't keep this ship manned, we don't get home. Good luck.
You too.
Captain, did we win? Oh, I assume not. Otherwise the gun would be a little remiss, wouldn't it?
We need to check your neck, Larrabee.
I didn't get shot in the neck, my dear. I got shot in the shoulder.
No. We think the parasite latched onto your neck, at the base of your skull. We need to check it.
I feel as though I'm the only one not quite following the plot here.
We think you were infected when the parasite left Tyson.
My dear, I don't even know how I got here. One moment I'm getting shot, and the next I was running headlong into that engineer in the corridor.
Which engineer?
Carol, I think it was.
What do we do?
Well, see for yourself if you don't believe me.
See anything?
There's a fresh wound, but I don't think anything's inside.
You stay with him. I'm going after Rayburn. Captain to infirmary?
Mina here, Captain.
Any change with Tyson?
He's just coming round.
Good. The parasite did transfer into Larrabee, but then moved into Rayburn. Look, when we find this thing, how do we kill it?
Good question. I doubt killing the host would do any good. It should be relatively fragile outside the body.
Anything more insightful than bug go squish?
Not really, Captain. You're dealing with an alien organism. If it's anything like most insects, it's susceptible to fire, to drying out,
Where's the captain? I feel weird. What did you do to me?
Look, I bet this is pretty disorienting, isn't it? And you don't remember how you got here, what's going on, right? What's the last thing you remember? Was I around anywhere? I was still locked up, right?
Shut up, okay? I just need to think. Just think for a second.
You were taken over by a parasite, some kind of insect we picked up on the planet when we crashed.
On the planet?
That's right. Feel around on the back of your neck. You can feel where it implanted itself, can't you?
The back of my... a bug did that?
A very nasty bug, yes. And we're going to find its nest, but I need you to put the gun down.
Oh, I'm okay now, though, right?
No, Tyson, you're not. You've been poisoned.
Well, fix me.
I don't know how.
We're in the infirmary. You can figure it out. Come on, hook me up to this bed and let's get me fixed.
I can't.
But I don't want to die.
I know. And I'm sorry.
I'm not supposed to die here. This is only a temporary assignment. Well, tell my dad for me. Tell him I'm sorry. And tell him I was strong, would you? I want him to remember me strong.
I will.
So I just wait.
I will be here with you.
All right, that's it. Come on. It's my turn to be stupid and impulsive for once. I do not accept that after all we've been through. I simply have to sit here and watch you get liquefied. We are going to the infirmary.
Right. Now that's the never say die spirit I've been looking for. And who knows, we might find a way of stopping these things.
Captain, we were right. Tyson is on the move.
Where's he heading?
Deck 13, moving toward the rear.
On my way. I'll try and intercept you.
Right. Now, we don't have a lot of time. The first thing we have to do is get you scanned.
Here, take a blood sample. If the toxin is in my bloodstream, a scan of my blood will give a more concentrated analysis, won't it?
Good idea. Got it. All right, Ambassador. You just sit there and cross your fingers.
Fingers, toes, eyes. I'd cross my kidneys if I could.
Now, these conductors get burnt out easily, so we'll have to check them again before we reach the station.
Do we have enough spares?
I hope so. They're very delicate, and a lot of them got pulverized when we crashed. Captain, what can we do for you?
Move away from her, Burnett.
Sir?
Do it. She's infected with a parasite.
I'm what? I'm not infected with anything, thank you very much.
What are you doing here?
Well, maintenance.
Maintenance? Here?
The morgue isn't meant for this capacity. We keep burning out the refrigeration, so unless you want a smell, the likes of which you've never imagined. Tyson! What? The prisoner's out.
Stay away from her, Rayburn.
What has gotten into you, Captain?
This is where he was heading?
Yeah.
Tyson, snap out of it. What's wrong with him?
I think you know.
He's trying to get into the morgue, sir.
Open the door.
What on earth?
That's disgusting.
What is it, sir?
That's the nest.
Tyson? Tyson, don't go in there. What in the name of the Seven Sons happened to him?
Poor man.
Oh, I'm gonna be sick.
You're not going anywhere. Burnett, check the back of her neck. Let me know what you see.
Yes, sir.
Get your hands off me!
I don't know what it is. Looks like a spider. It's burrowed into her neck.
Right. Back over here with us. How much time do we have before those eggs start to hatch?
I haven't got the foggiest idea what you're talking about.
Here, Burnett. Take the gun and keep her covered. Mina, come with me. I want to know what kind of time we're working with.
I don't think we have long. Do you have any flamethrowers?
Not something we tend to bring on long flights.
Explosives?
What are you doing? Burnett! Burnett, open the door.
What do you think you're doing? You can't leave them in there with that stuff.
Sorry, Captain. The larvae will hatch soon. And when they do, they'll be hungry.
Well, what's the verdict?
Strange. Your hormones are a little out of whack, but no sign of anything that looks toxic.
Maybe the parasite didn't poison me after all.
I think you're right. Maybe it takes a while to restore its supply. Oh, that's wonderful news! Fushan to Captain. Captain, do you read me? That's weird. She must be somewhere heavily lined.
No matter. The Captain and Miss Lysett will soon deal with our little bug problem, and we can put this nightmare behind us. And do you know what, Miss Nix? I think it's high time I take your advice. Our next little excursion, I think we'll book ourselves into a nice grade 1 and relieve a little of the stress we've been under the last few days. Now, shall we head back to our quarters? I have a bottle of Jacundian wine I've been saving.
Are you sure? Maybe we should go find the Captain and help.
Oh, the Captain is quite capable, I assure you, Miss Nix.
I suppose you're right, Larrabee. Oh, before we go, would you humor me and run a scan on me?
On you? Whatever for?
It occurs to me I could have been infected and never known. I'd hate to walk around constantly afraid that I was going to turn into soup.
Whatever will put your mind at ease, my friend.
Here, you'll have to fasten these. I move around a lot when I'm nervous.
Ah, indeed. Nix, what are you doing? Remove these restraints.
I've known the ambassador for years, and he's never called me by my last name. What are you?
It is no matter. My companion has your captain trapped. The hatching is about to begin.
Captain, the stuff's starting to move.
I know. Can we do anything?
No, once they've hatched, it's game over. Could we raise the temperature somehow?
Not high enough. You said we could dry them out.
We need something like diatomaceous earth. It's a silica made from sea creature remains.
Well, we're not likely to find that in space.
The semiconductors. Storage 2. They're silica.
Silence! Do not die yet. Your species rots so easily.
Let the ambassador go.
No. The ambassador is our key to a number of worlds. We will breed and spread.
I thought there was only one of you.
I was the first. I took the mind of the one I attacked on the planet. Another of us was trapped in the folds of the protective suit until Burnett took it to be burned.
But I looked at the wound on the ambassador's neck.
I concealed myself in the surrounding tissue. The discomfort was great, but I was able to retain control.
Where is the nest? Where is it?
You're too late.
We'll see. This is Fushan Nix on an open channel to all crew. The captain is in danger. Find...
You cannot stop the nest. We will become all that you are.
Get off! Let's see. You can take the pressure. Oh no! Nowhere to run this time.
The door! Rayburn, the door! Get the silica! Get the silica!
You got him?
Yeah, but we can't shoot them all. Quickly, toss the silica. All of it.
If this doesn't work,
Then be ready to run. Just to be sure.
I'm sorry.
You should...
I'm so sorry.
It's gone. You should...
You're still just a bug, after all.
This is Captain Jupiter Valeri. We will be arriving at Cold Station 19 shortly. I thank you all for your patience, hard work, and dedication over the last few days. Please bear with us as we and the ship undergo a thorough sterilization upon our arrival. As we take time to reflect on this journey, let us not just reflect on our survival, but also on those which gave their lives for ours. Captain Valeri, out.
Very nice, Captain.
I thought it appropriate. I realize what you had to do was very difficult. Will you be reassigned?
Eventually. Going to try and request some mental health support first. Spend a little time putting myself back together, you know?
Very wise.
And what about me?
I'm afraid I can't just let you go. I'm sorry.
Believe it or not, I understand. Can I make one request?
Of course.
Put a good word for me. There's a plague colony just past Saturn that can't get enough support. I'd like to help if I can.
Of course.
Well, is there someone that can escort me back to the brig?
I'm sorry. I can't spare anyone, but there are some vacant guest quarters on Deck 6 if you think you can find your way.
I'll help her find her way, Captain. Oh, Captain. What'll happen when we get to Cold Station?
We'll make a full report. Before we disembark, they'll do a detailed physical evaluation of us all, followed by a full decontamination and irradiation of the ship, just to make sure no part of that organism survives. They'll probably put a warning beacon up in orbit above the planet where the Celestian fighter shot us down. Make sure nobody else has the same trouble we had. You two let me know if you need anything. And good work.
This is Captain Phelps of the cruiser Guinevere, bound for Earth. We are responding to the distress signal received at 00 Mark 4. I say again, this is Captain Phelps of the Guinevere responding to the distress signal received from the Celestian fighter at 00 Mark 4. We have locked onto your coordinates and will be landing shortly. If you can hear me, I'm coming to you.
The pursuit of existence knows no bounds. We are all but parasites, starving for attention, and seeking to secure a better life for our next generation. Thus concludes tonight's strange fantasy. Tune in next time for another look into the strange and obscure.
Strange Fantasy Show presented Inside Man Part 2, written by Michael Song, produced by Ashley Scarbro and Travis Scarbro, edited by Ashley Scarbro and Travis Scarbro. Original score by Dyssent, and additional score by Travis Scarbro. The players of tonight's tale are as follows: Stephanie Nemeth Parker as Jupiter Valeri, Ashley Scarbro as Mina Lysette, Michael Song as Larrabee Burton, Carmina Manley as Fuchsian Nix, Travis Scarbro as Hugh Tyson and Captain Phillips, Samantha Brown as Carol Rayburn, Ty Anderson as Burnett, and Ben Lopez as Dr. Chen. Strange Fantasy Show was created by Travis Scarbro, and Strange Fantasy Show is copyright 2020 Strange Fantasy Productions, all rights reserved. Any and all characters appearing in this work are fictitious, and any resemblance to real persons living or dead is purely coincidental. Hi everyone. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Strange Fantasy. I'm Travis.
Ashley here.
We're the creators, writers, and producers of the show. And we just wanted to take a quick second to let you know that if you like Strange Fantasy, Be sure and show your love by subscribing, downloading, and rating the show on iTunes, Spotify, or any of the many platforms we exist on.
And for exclusive rewards and merchandise, or just to donate to our cause to help us to continue to thrive, be sure to visit our Patreon page at patreon.com/strangefantasy. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram by searching Strange Fantasy Show for updates and haunting original art. All this and more can be found at our website, strangefantasyshow.com. From Strange Fantasy Productions, we do have a brand new project out called The Dastardly Dangerous Adventures of Darby's the Cat. It is available anywhere where you get your podcast.
Thanks for listening, and see you next time.